All right, and then now I'll make you host again.
Okay.
You're good to go.
All right. Thank you, Nikki.
You're
It
welcome.
is 4:03 and I will call the meeting to order. Where are we? The script for the remote. Since Mary's not here. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Town Area Plan Work Group is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not, there's no public here. Will not feature public comment for this meeting. Town Area Plan Work Group is convening by video conference via Zoom app as posted on the town's website and identifying how the public may join for Zoom meetings. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recordings. That's good enough for me. All right, establishment of a quorum. Lee.
Here.
Mary Ann.
Here.
Allison.
Here.
Marcia.
Here.
And I'm here. So that works for me. Okay. Approval of the agenda. Any comments? Changes? Okay. Motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Second.
Second.
You can make it.
Thank you, Allison.
Okay.
All right. Lee.
Aye.
Mary Ann.
Yes.
Allison.
Aye.
Marcia. And I'm also an aye. So that's done. Approval of the draft minutes from June 21st, 2024. Any comments? Take that as a no. Motion to approve.
I move to
Mary Ann.
approve, Mary Ann.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mary Ann. Second.
I'll second again, Allison.
Allison, thank you. Okay. All in favor, Lee,
Aye.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Allison,
Aye.
Marcia, and I'm also an aye. Okay, we've got that out of the way. Discussion of the area plan. 9 components of the master plan.
Henry, this is Lee. Before
Yes,
we
Lee.
begin, do you have any note of what MPEDC is doing for their member?
No, I do not. I did ask Mary if she wanted to stick it out till the end. I would go ask, seeing as we are down 1, and she's pretty busy. So as soon as I find out who the new NP and EDC member is, I'll let you know.
Okay, good.
I'm not sure when Mary's term is up. Could be.
I thought she said sort of the end of June. On our last meeting.
Can't remember.
Most
I
town
was,
committees, it's the committee year ends June 30th. And the new committee is July 1st. We're a continuing appointment as far as I can tell.
yeah, nobody's told me to stop, so. Okay, anything anybody wants to discuss?
Well, I'm gonna lob the ball back into your court. Wimbledon just having been finished. we've got a lot of draft material. And how do people want us to proceed?
Did you have any success in getting things better organized, Lee?
No, I've not tried because I was waiting to hear from the subcommittees whether they wanted to submit a more polished draft. But if
Well-
not, hi, Marcia.
Well, one thought is definitely I agree with producing the more polished draft, but I'm wondering if preceding that, if we each need to review the areas in our own work that we think need the consensus of everyone. Because I know we've had a lot of discussion, but it seemed like there were times when we left the discussion and maybe everybody didn't agree with everything that was in the draft. So I would just suggest we do one or both at the same time to refine the draft, but be certain that we are all in agreement.
We'll vote on the final.
But in the meantime, do we want to have all the current versions sent as one group and everyone can review them kind of?
I think that's an
offline,
excellent
and then-
idea.
Yeah, and then we can pinpoint, as Marcia pointed out, pieces where we don't feel like we've come to complete agreement on something, or if we might have shifted. How long ago was Mickey and Regan's report, right? So just seeing everything kind of together and how it fits together, because we have a lot of cross references, etc. So it might be useful to have everything in one packet, everyone review it, and then we can go over comments and changes.
I mean, I completely agree with that. And I also just put out the question about consistency, because I know that we were all given kind of a really simple number of questions or points that we're supposed to address. But I think that we've done it all in our own way. We've not done it with a prescribed format. And I think for, the integrity, the readability, perhaps we need to see what reads well, and what needs to be consistent for each component.
It is gonna vary by group. Like open space and rec, there's not a whole lot to discuss. Where something like Mary Ann's or actually any of the others, there is.
But I think the sequence of presentation can still be essentially the same, meaning that our job was to highlight what those resources are within our area. And so to
Correct.
start, and we all have to do that. We all have to say, what have we got in our area that is important? And moving on down into what are the concerns, but what are the resources that we do have within our area that we consider significant in our area? It's quite different than any other area on the island.
I think that'll also become apparent when we look at it as one document with different chapters as opposed to the separate documents.
I may just be repeating what people have said, but could not each of us submit a draft of our section to our secretary, Lee, have him assemble it into one draft document and email it to all of us, and then for us to spend the next couple of meetings going through it, area by area or section by section.
I think that's a good idea.
At this point, I think it's the only idea going forward. We've just got to take a look at what it looks like, what it reads like. I think I totally agree. We want to put it together.
Lee, do you have an opinion on that?
Yes, I
Since you
do,
would be the
Mary Ann.
nexus.
And my opinion is that's a better deal than for me to go through and try and capture everybody's thoughts and then send it back. So I'm going to suggest that when the minutes go out, the direction will be for each subcommittee to look at what they've written and convert it into simple declarative sentences, bullet points accepted if
Yeah.
appropriate, and narrow it down to a lead choice. It's not to say that in the subsection plans, we couldn't report that there was some consideration of alternatives, but we're agreed this is alternative one, and MPEDC might want to know that the other alternatives were B, C, and D. So to capture, each group looks at what they've written, makes it into a statement rather than a series of questions, gives it to me, and I'll send it back as a document. The point about consistency is a great one. I'll try and get things into a common voice and a common format. And if bullet points are what people choose, we would do that. Otherwise, it would be a series of paragraphs. And I would send it back with the notion, consistent with the open meeting law, that opinions be sent only to me or to Henry, not to the group. And then when it's re-edited, it will be sent back out. Discussion would be in an open meeting.
So.
I guess I'm not suggesting that we individually go through each section. I think we should talk through each section at a meeting, not each of us work as an editor on other people's work.
No, Mary Ann, I'm suggesting that you edit your sections and only
Right.
your sections. I coalesce all that. And once we have what I might think of as version 2, that we would go through in open meeting section by section.
So when you use the word coalesce, it does not mean that you will touch anything that individual groups have submitted.
Only to edit for coherence and consistency, not to change any finding.
Yeah, I guess I would suggest that we all get a chance for the raw go-round without that.
That comes first. I keep saying, each of you resubmit your edited documents, because what I have in my files, and I have each and every one of them, are reactions to the survey. Marcia, I'm reminded of the executive who said he wished he could have all of his economists have only one hand, because he's tired of economists saying on one hand, but on the other hand. But in any event, each group would work its own document. That would be coalesced into version 2. I've already done this for version 1, which is a hodgepodge.
I'm just getting hung up on the process. We're probably saying the same thing, but the word coalesce to me suggests that you're going to be doing some work on it before we all get it. By the word coalesce. So I just don't understand that.
It's got to come from you. Now, if it doesn't come, if a group decides that they're moving to Martha's Vineyard, why Henry and I may have to do a little bit. But no, the first opportunity is the subcommittee. With the
Right.
goal,
So you're just going to put them all together into one PDF for us to all look at.
yes,
In order.
only after you've had a
order.
chance to deal with your own submission. So
No,
What I'm
I
gonna
get
s-
that.
what I'm going to
get that.
suggest is 2 weeks.
Yes. And I would suggest that each one of us, if at the end of our fine tuning our own component, if we have any outstanding questions or issues, that we list that at the end of it.
Oh, sure. That's what I called alternative A, alternative B.
I have a question. Should you remind us of any guidelines for how this should be presented that the town? I'm trying to think back to the beginning of this process, which was a century ago, it seems. And I
Yes.
can't remember if there were any guidelines that the town gave us for how we should present our information, or maybe there was none. Were there
wasn't.
any guidelines?
However, in what I call version 1, which I think I did send to everybody, I copied the introductory sentence or short paragraph in the state document that tells us what a master plan looks like, and use that as the intro for each one of our what will be 9 sections.
Can you send that again?
Sure.
Sorry, I probably wouldn't be able to even find it in the pile of information on this project.
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Thank you, Lee.
Anything else?
I think there is a document I have called Area Plan Guidelines Draft, and that has a date of October 2023. So there is that, but you must have that, Lee, also.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to make a comment because it's not a fact, but I think the master plan will be looking from the local area plans suggestions for action, which primarily are zoning, use documents, and transportation suggestions, transportation and parking. Because a lot of what we talk about is preservation of the historic nature of the town. And the way you protect that is through zoning. Well, one of the ways.
So it also looks like, I don't know who prepared a statement that's dated March 10, 2020, called Nantucket Town Area Plan Working Group Draft Statement of Goals and Policies. I think
We
that's
did.
when
We did,
they
and
were
that
just,
will have to be edited after we tend to agree on either version 2 or version 3.
right,
because-
I'm suggesting it just be included in whatever you send out.
Oh, yes. oh,
To
yes.
give us the reference.
So I see that, Marcia, eventually as the executive summary. Therefore, the short sentences in there should be consistent with the longer explanation in each subsection. Right now, it may not be because we wrote that first.
And I think if we are looking for some examples or a good model of what to follow in our presentation, that we can always look to other
Sure.
areas on the island, you know, if we think, well, we really like the one for Mattakit or for Sconset, then I think we could review that, or we can look elsewhere in other coastal towns on Massachusetts if we are looking to get an idea of what this entire document might look like.
Well, I urge you to start that process from the very beginning for your own subsections.
Yes, I did do that, but I'm just reminding everyone that that
Sure.
is an option.
Henry, I think my and your workload has just been deferred by a fortnight or two.
So
We shall see.
shouldn't we have a deadline for getting all of this stuff to Lee?
I suggested 2 weeks a moment ago.
2
So
weeks?
that-
Our next meeting I have is August 6th. At 3 p.m. That's a Tuesday. Does that sound right?
So
So
that
we
means
have to get it to him earlier than that.
We'll have to be realistic because it probably won't go out until I send out minutes. And that's going to be Monday or Tuesday of next week because the video will not be captured until staff member comes back on Monday.
I just need a hard and fast deadline to have things to you.
yeah,
You
and
will get one.
it can't be the 6th. So do you want it on
That
August
Friday?
1 or August 2?
Sure.
Which one?
Well, the meeting is the 6th, so if you can have it to Lee by the 2nd,
Yeah.
Okay,
does that work?
Yeah,
yes.
Given my comment about delay in minutes until I get the video, I may send out a note to all committee members talking about what we're hoping for people to do.
What video are you talking about?
The one that we're recording right now.
Thank you, Henry. Yes, indeed.
You're a YouTube star, Marianne. You didn't even know.
Anything else you want to discuss?
No, except for a comment that we may be closer than we realize. We're so accustomed to a note that we'll discuss this again at our next meeting that it might just happen. We did say the summer of 2023. So what's a year?
I really thought we were going to be done like 2 years ago.
I know.
I've learned.
That's all right. I am a believer in the role of volunteers, and I'm also an awareness that I could increase your pay, but that doesn't mean you're going to work any faster since the pay is zero.
I was gonna say, I get paid?
That's
I
right.
missed the memo.
Whoa, I missed that too. Well, I'm a believer in celebration of completion of goals. Totally.
Henry, that is an excellent suggestion. When version 3, 4, or 5, which we will call final draft, is submitted, we may just want to have a final celebratory meeting somewhere convivial.
Please.
We just won't tell the town, that's all.
Yes. Could you bill them though? Could you?
Yes, right. Okay.
Okay. Anything else? I take that as a no. All right, motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Before we adjourn, just a reminder, you better tell those people who aren't here that they have an assignment.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
I did say I'd be sending a note out in advance of the minutes.
Okay,
I could probably
And-
do minutes now, but I always like to have the YouTube link in the minutes. And
And-
that won't happen until Monday or Tuesday. So I'm gonna send a note out first thing tomorrow morning.
okay.
So my only other question would be about Mary. And can we confirm that she can complete and put her name to the work that she's done? And do any more? Is she able to complete with us? It'd be really, really nice to know she was such a major part of this
Yeah.
endeavor.
I will talk with her.
Henry Marshall's got a good point. It's easy enough to say that, for example, circulation written by Mary Longacre, who left the committee on July or June 30th, 2024, and Lee Saperstein. So her name would then be on everything. However, she was going to do something with the survey. And I think that it's timely to ask the town to do something with that. By something, I mean public.
Ah,
So I guess my question is, are we required to have a substitute person that has that that role on the NPEDC? Or can we?
We will get an advisor from NP and EDC.
It's not
I just
incumbent
don't know what
upon
it is.
us, but it's incumbent upon MPEDC.
Right, but Mary was the advisor? I thought
Mary
Megan,
was the advisor from NP and EDC.
I thought Megan
was-
Trudell was.
She was the link to the parent committee.
No, I was always told she was the advisor. No, okay.
Mary was. Andrew Force appointed her. She was a huge help.
So we need another advisor, you're saying?
Yes, they are supposed to let me know. But I can check with Leslie. Because I honestly don't know where it is on their agenda. As far as appointing one.
maybe we'll be finished before that happens.
We shall see. I don't think so, but
I'm just a dreamer.
I'll get with Leslie next week. Find out. Because it could be interesting. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I move to
Okay.
adjourn.
All in
He's
favor, aye.
Take it.
Okay. Let's get out of here. Thank you.
I
Thanks,
know.
Just for the record, who was the second?
Marcia.
Thank you, Marcia.
Enjoy the
Lee
nice
votes aye.
weather.